Hi guys, here's another update video. So obviously the first thing you can notice right now is that my audio is a bit better compared to the last time. Hopefully it's louder now. I just recently got a new mic, so for these update videos. So yeah, hopefully this is better. What do you guys think? And yeah, this is an update video. What I did for the day was also, yeah, still continued reworking the pathfinding, and I kind of just decided not to use the grid pathfinding. So right now, as you can see, when I move the crew members, they just move to the location in the middle of the tile, and yeah, there's no grid pathfinding anymore. They're not moving along the grid. So the reason for choosing that's because of a bunch of things. So first of all, Unreal Engine's default pathfinding system has works really well when it comes to navigating through obstacles already. And if we have to use the grid assets obstacle system like the red tiles from the previous videos, basically when it means red, you cannot the grid won't be able to pathfind into it. I mean, that's gonna be a much more tedious approach, I think, because you'd have to specify which assets are supposed to be red or an obstacle and stuff like that, instead of just relying on Unreal Engine's default behavior, and it will just navigate around the objects already. So don't need any special pathfinding, and this will be easier to implement since this is what we've been doing this so far. So what I just want to use a grid for now is the locations and for the layout of the ship. So yeah, with this the pathfinding should be much better now, and we don't have to really modify that much anymore. So to give you another example, create a different ship. Okay, as you can see, the ship has walls, and I just made some simple walls here to act somehow like rooms for now, just for demonstration. So right now I'm using the rework pathfinding system, and if let's say I want to go to this room, the crew member automatically just goes around it, and then if I go here, it just works. If I want all of them to go here, yeah, it just works. So previously, previous issues that, for example, if a crew member is up here, and then if I try pathfinding down here, down the stairs, they just try to move on the ledge, because this ledge is still considered a tile. So I think this is better, since it doesn't really have to rely on the grid pathfinding, since we have verticality instead of a flat area. It's a better approach. So let me show you how it looks like in the previous system first. Okay, so let's say I'm using the previous system now. Let's say I try to move Julian here in the bottom. As you can see, he's trying to navigate just straight through. And yeah, he's still automatically moved around the ledge, but basically, I mean, it's not as good. And then if I try to move him to a different room, So he tries to go in a straight line but fails, so he goes around and then goes to the tile that he wasn't able to go through yet, and then reaches the end there. So yeah, I think this is a much better approach. I kept on thinking that we'd just end up, I mean, we will have to use the grid pathfinding, since we're using a grid anyway. But I think just using the grid as a as a coordinate system, but still using the same Unreal Engine pathfinding is a better approach and something I'm more comfortable with to work with. And also, yeah, with these walls you can see that if we're gonna use this red tiles here to mark as an obstacle, it really wouldn't work with the walls. So let's say this wall is in between two tiles, and then if we'd mark both tiles as red to indicate an obstacle, that wouldn't make much sense. So yeah, we'll just go with this. Okay, don't mind the steering wheel here. It's this ship is just for testing. So yeah, for my next steps, I'll start working on the combat system with the reworked movement system. I mean, reworked pathfinding system. And wait, let me just check Jira if I missed anything. Alright, I also contacted the dev for the grid asset. So wait, let me just reconnect this. Okay, so I was explaining to him the issue where tiles are being generated even at the edge, even though they're not complete tiles like this. Like, it's just a half tile and it's at the edge and it's still being considered as a tile. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem, but this is still not ideal. So his solution was first just create the mesh to just make the edges of the mesh match the tile. So basically, if we're gonna make the ship asset without this area here, so just cut it off and make the edges hexagons or something. But yeah, that's not a good solution. Second solution was to create a separate mesh for at the edges, just to as a blocker, like a block, so to indicate that the grid that it cannot generate here. So yeah, I think that would be possible if we'd have something at the edge here, and I think we will have something at the edge here, like a wall, and in that case I think that could work out. And yeah, also the last here he also mentioned that we could create specific tile types to indicate that it's not an area you're supposed to go to, but then you'd have to know which tiles are the edges, which is not easy to do. So yeah, I think just having something at the edge here, like a wall or something to indicate that the grid can't generate there, is a better approach. So yeah, I think that would be my update video for today. So again, my next steps would be to start working the combat system using the grid pathfinding. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my new mic. Thanks.